Welcome, high school sports fans, to another episode of Linglestown Gazette's Gazette Sports Chat, brought to you by Ted's Bar and Grill. I'm your host, Joe Gilloway, and I thank you for giving us a look. I'd like to also thank Jeff and Pam Smith. We're sitting in their coffee shop, St. Thomas Roasters. They've been kind enough again. Just a few weeks ago, we did something similar to this, and they're giving us about a third of their dining room here, so we really appreciate that. It's a nice, comfortable place for us to do this, and thank you to Jeff and Pam. We did our Lady Rams Hoops Weekly end-of-season show here, and it was a great time, too, so appreciate it. Tonight's guest will be recently hired Central Dauphin boys basketball coach, Mr. Wayne Fletcher. But first, just a few brief news items, and we'll spend a few minutes with the man sitting to my right, Romeo LeMarco, owner, operator, proprietor. There's a word you don't hear too much anymore. He's the proprietor of Ted's Bar and Grill, which is just a mile or so up the road from where we are right now. First, Linglestown Gazette Sports has just released our sponsorship opportunities for both the 2018 football season and the 2018-19 girls basketball seasons. Yeah. And my partner, Bill Bostic, who must not have a sales background, he's offering 25% off of each package if you buy two. And I told him, I said, I can sell these things without giving a discount. But no, it's a nice thing. I mean, you can be a primary or a premier title sponsor for one and be a secondary sponsor for the other and get the 25% off of both or secondary for both or whatever you want. But it's a good deal. We'll give you a lot of exposure. Each of them lasts months. I mean, 3 months or so. And so anyway, contact myself or Bill Bostic, my partner, if you're interested in that, and we'll get you hooked up with that. We'll put you in touch with some of our current sponsors, too, and let you know or let them tell you how it's been for them. Linglestown Gazette and Linglestown Gazette Sports are looking for interns. We've been looking for interns for quite some time. We found a couple for different reasons. They're not with us anymore, and it's a great experience. We'd love to have some kids, some high school kids. Look great on a college resume, and it's a lot of fun, too. Watch Bill's morning podcast, and if you want to see what fun is, you'll see watching his podcast. And Bill does a lot of the sort of investigative stuff. He's like a watchdog type of journalist. He might put a disguise on you and have you hiding out in bushes or something for a gig. But and then I'm the sports guy. But if you like one or the other, you could choose. Or if you like both, we'll give you a press pass and you can stand on the sideline of football games. And there's nothing more fun than that if you're a sports fan. It's awesome. So lastly, do yourself a favor. I just mentioned Bill Bostic's daily live morning update newscast. It's on the Linglestown Gazette Facebook page. Usually starts just before or just after 8 o'clock. He hasn't really ironed it down to an exact time because he doesn't have a director or a producer. He has a job, too, yeah. But it's really good. If you're interested in local politics, local projects, road projects, or school board meeting agendas or stuff like that, watch his show. So thank you for sitting through all that. And now our warm-up guest, I guess we'll call him. He's our first Linglestown Gazette Sports sponsor ever. When we started Linglestown Gazette Sports last August, I believe it was, Bill has had Linglestown Gazette for 13 years, but he just started sports, and I started reporting for him. Romeo was our first sponsor, and he's stuck with us. He does a lot for Central Dauphin Sports, too, which is independent of Linglestown Gazette. He's a single-digit handicap golfer, I should add. Mr. Romeo LeMarco, thanks for being on the show.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yep. I guess I'm going to start with this. You own a restaurant. You spent decades as a successful businessman in an unrelated industry.
Yes.
Okay?
True.
Why buy a restaurant? Are you nuts?
Well, the old saying, follow in your father's footsteps. My son was a chef. So we kind of flipped the cards there a little bit, and I followed in his footsteps. And he brought me down the restaurant industry roads, per se, and it's been a quite exciting 8 years.
I'm sure it has. Now, your partner is your best friend.
Yes, we grew up together.
Growing up, John Sad is Romeo's partner, and all of your children are involved in this venture.
All of our children and most of his.
Right. What's that like?
Well, it's hectic at some times because, they they can sometimes not separate business from family, and that can tend to be a little bit of an issue. But they're hard workers, and they enjoy being with their siblings and the family atmosphere that we create. So it seems to be working out, and they're getting better as it goes on every year.
Good. Okay. Let's get into a little bit about what happens at Ted's Bar and Grill. You're one of the few remaining places that have live music regularly. When I was young, when I was just old enough to start going out to drink, you had your choice of places.
Right.
That is really, for a lot of different reasons, that's gone by the wayside. What's it like knowing that you're going to have live music in there like a couple nights a week?
Joe, just as you brought up, the neighborhood restaurant atmosphere and the community bar atmosphere in general has diminished over the years. Franchise restaurants, they've come to tend to push out the local support
mom and pop
outfits.
Right.
And so it's been very very nice to be able to bring that family, friend kind of place to hang out atmosphere, supporting the community, supporting the sports events. It's something that we grew up with when we were young, when we went to the local bars and taverns with our parents to have dinner, and you've seen your idols' pictures on the wall.
Right.
Even though they were high school players, they were still your idols.
Absolutely.
And that's our mindset, is what we wanted to bring back, and that's what we wanted to try to put forth to our customers.
And you've nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel when I'm at Ted's Bar and Grill. Just a couple quick things. How about catering? Tell us about, you really ramped up your catering business over the last year or so.
We have decided that that's a part of the industry that's out there, that doesn't have a lot of competition. It doesn't have a lot of people that are interested in that. So we've geared up a catering job and have grown that over the past 3 or 4 years. And we do, from the smallest event of 10 to 15 people to 300 people, and
right.
weddings, graduations, birthday parties, anniversaries, you name it. We get involved in it, and
right.
and we sit down. We go step by step through all the process of what you might need, what you don't need, and it seems to be working out real well.
Those people usually need their hand held because they're not restaurant people.
Yeah.
They just have a gig they got to throw, and they trust you to help them with it.
You know what? If you want to have a party or throw something like that, you can spend all your time planning and preparing and not enjoying,
right.
or have us come in, plan it, prepare it, and enjoy your festivities, and basically not even the money's comparable.
Right. Yep.
And then Joe.
Yeah, certainly.
Back on our live music, we've always been fans of live music, and what we try to create is we get all local bands, local kids that were playing at CD or Lower Dauphin that have bands, along with some of the parents that have bands, and
right.
and we bring them in, and we've been doing this probably since the first month or so that we opened up way back 8 years ago, and like I said, every Saturday night we have live music, we have festivities almost every night, wing night, trivia night, karaoke, bar bingo, which has been a big blast here lately, and even to the Friday night Funky Friday, we call it, where we play flashback music from the 70s and 80s, and it's just something that you can go, relax, enjoy yourself, whether you're playing along or singing along or just watching,
right.
and enjoy it that way.
And I'm going to fill the viewers in on a little something. You can see some funk and soul bands. Romeo and I both like the same type of music, so now and then you'll see a funk or soul band out there. Okay, King of the Wings out here, of course. How many TVs?
We got close to 50, 60 TVs.
Okay, multiple dining rooms. Got the Rams room out front with all the Rams decorations, pictures of the legends, and anything new in the works this summer?
Well, this summer we got our annual golf outing that will be on May 25th. There are still some openings. And what's unique about our golf outing is what we do every year is we pick a local family or an individual that is in need of some help financially. Maybe they had surgery or their kids have an illness where it's taking them out of their job somewhat.
Right.
So what we do is we fish for those people, and we find someone in our area every year, and we donate whatever funds we can towards
Wonderful.
that person.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
And along those lines, I'm going to wrap up with this. To a very extensive degree, you're involved in supporting the local community. You just explained one facet or one
Right.
way, especially with children and youth sports. What's the motivation for that?
Well, listen, these kids, they love to come. They love to hang out at the restaurant. They run around. It's where their parents can be relaxed. It's a family atmosphere, so there's you don't have to worry about anything. You're amongst friends and family there, so it's really a relaxing atmosphere for the families. And these kids are the kids that are going to be coming along, later in life as they get older, with their teenage friends coming out and hanging out on wing night to when they come back home at college and meet at Ted's, because that's where they've been coming to when they are then have their own young families.
Yeah, your partner John told me, your friend and partner John said, even before the ink was dry on the contract to buy the restaurant, it was non-negotiable as to whether or not you guys were going to get really involved in the community.
Yeah,
and
I think if you're not involved in the community and the people that are around you, you're missing out on a great, not only just a great atmosphere of all that goes on. It makes it fun.
Right.
And if it's not fun, then it's not worth it.
Romeo, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Romeo LeMarco, great supporter of Linglestown Gazette, Linglestown Gazette Sports, Central Dauphin High School. And you heard about the golf tournament that supports other people in the community. We'll bring you back again.
Sure.
I promise.